Alright, so real quick, let's go over some loadouts for this encounter. So in our subclass, you need Storm's Edge. You can either use Grapple Nade or Dust Field. Combination Blow. Gambler's Dodge. Stylish. Winter Shroud. Fragments do not matter, however I recommend Faceted Protection. That's pretty much it. Faceted Dawn, sometimes nice. Moving on, for weapons in this first loadout. Any kinetic waveframe, any kinetic slug waveframe does not need to be this one. Any trace rifle, I recommend something with reconstruction, just to easier time so you don't have to reload. Salvation's Edge is in this loadout. For armor, I recommend find a class item. If you have Assassin's Cowl and a Coyote, Spirited Coyote, that's great. If not, if you don't have this combo, either find something that works. I'm not one to say that you can't find something better, or I highly recommend just Assassin's Cowl. Being able to go invis on demand is very, very helpful in this encounter. For mods, helmet, you're going to want 2 dynamos, 1 hands-on, 2 heavy-handeds, or you can do 3 if you have stats, but I prefer to just have a stat mod. 2 solar, 1 arc, for sure. You can maybe substitute a solar for a melee if you want, or a concussive. This loadout better already recoup stasis scav for sure. This is why I like to have a stasis right here, although you can run literally whatever. 2 distributions for sure. I'm running a special finny and 2 distributions. I recommend this to make some more heavy for you, or some special for you. It's pretty nice. Moving on to our next loadout. The only difference between these 2 loadouts, everything is the exact same, so this one has, you don't really need to change the mods. I just like to have a powerful attraction here to get some faraway orbs. I changed the scavenger to a kinetic scavenger for my bastion. I definitely have at least 1 kinetic loader here. I recommend 1 heavy-handed, 1 kinetic loader. Very nice. Same thing here, 2 dynamos, 1 hands-on. You're going to want to change for sure to bastion. Bastion's required in this loadout. Any eager sword is fine. And then I recommend you don't really just run something special here. I like to have the rocket sidearm with heal clip because it's pretty nice for like certain situations. But any rocket sidearm is good. Any special at all is good. You really don't need it if you don't want to use it. Those are your 2 main required loadouts. Nothing changes in the subclass. The last loadout that I recommend you have is a loadout with Stompies. And then you want lost signal and then a fusion rifle. And this is going to be used when you're oobing back after you do your crack scan damage phase. In terms of stats for these loadouts, definitely get 100 mobility and as high resilience as you can, and then dump the rest into discipline. This loadout in particular, the one with Stompies, for sure should have 100 mobility. That's pretty much it. If you're lazy, like I am, I will have my loadouts in the description for you guys. That way you don't need to make your own if you don't want. Alright. Alright, so let's go over crack scan real quick. So if you've never done crack scan is literally just scanning light side through a crack. That's why it's called crack scan. This is the crack. So first of all, when you go into damage phase, you're gonna be right around here when you start doing damage. You immediately want to scan dark middle and dark left. You can scan those very easily right through here. Boom, boom. Light middle, or dark middle, dark left. Then once you either shoot those or realize they're not lit up, you're gonna come over here. I like to stand. You want to stand right in this corner. You want to crouch. You're gonna look through this crack, and you're gonna slowly move around this curve until you can see each fuse. So, for example, I'm gonna move slowly. You'll get faster as you go, but so first, as we move to the left, you'll see light left right there. Light left is right there. I'll put on a sniper so it's easier to tell. But all these fuses will be way more visible when they're lit up. That's light left. It's the first one you can see. As long as you just smoothly move around and bring one into focus at a time, it's pretty hard to get him confused. So light left, moving around again. We've got light middle. Light middle is always the most visible one. It's gonna be the widest one. So if you see like a big wide yellow down there, odds are it's light middle. It's pretty easy to tell. Light right is the one a lot of people get messed up on and confused with. It's the hardest to see when practicing, but I'm going to show you it real quick. You'll be able to see just the static coming off of it. It's like right, you can see kind of lightning down there, but it's there. You're just not able to like see the core until it's lit up. Once it's glowing yellow though, you'll definitely be able to see it. I'm going to bring in a friend just to show you guys how to practice that real quick. Alright, so really quick, we're going to go through this again, except light right's going to be way more visible. I've got Crisis down here putting anarchy on the cores. So let's go through. So we've got light left, we're going to keep following the curve, light middle, and then you can see light right there. That's kind of what it's going to look like when it's lit up orange or yellow. As you can see, the anarchies are on light right now. Another really good way to tell which one you're looking at is the angle of it. So if it's like angled to the left, you know it's light left, and if it's angled to the right, you know it's light right. As you can see, he's just going to keep putting the anarchy down. It's pretty easy to tell when it's going. Typically, like after you get practice of this, you're going to be able to go pretty quick. So like when I'm doing runs, I'll be like, okay, nope, not light left, not light middle, not light right, and I go. So real quick, if you need, if you're struggling to practice doing crack scan, like without starting the encounter, either you can do it yourself and just be quick, or you can have a friend come down here, have them put anarchy on a core, and then just try to figure out which one they put anarchy on. That's a pretty good way to practice. That's what I did a lot, as well as just doing this in duos as well. Alright, so dark right's the last one I haven't mentioned. You can't actually scan dark right. But you do it by process of elimination essentially. So after you scan dark left and middle, and then you go scan the rest of light side through the crack. If it's none of them, then you know it's dark right, and you break that one. If you end up getting dark right in a solo run specifically, you're probably, unless you get lucky, you're probably only going to get one fuse. That's fine. Crack scan method's pretty forgiving, so don't worry, keep running, get your practice in. There is one other way that you can scan through this crack. I'm not going to show you guys it here because it's slower and you kind of really need to be fast in the solo. However, I'll link my duo security guide, and my duo security guide shows in detail how to do this strategy. It's the other way to do crack scan. It's much more consistent and easier to read the fuses, but it's much slower, so just keep that in mind. I would not recommend using it for the solo. Use the strategy I showed you. I got 4 and 1. So quick disclaimer here, I said this at the start of the video, but to do both of these breaches that I'm about to show you, you need to be at 30 FPS. There's a couple different ways you can do that. Either you can run the whole encounter at 30 FPS, which is a lot of people's preferred option. You can do what I do, which is have a controller. If you know how to play on controller and you're good with controller, I would recommend just doing this encounter on controller. And that way, what you can do is, if you're on PC and you Alt-Tab, the game will automatically cap at 30 FPS. As you can see, it's capped at 30 right now. However, you can still move the game with a controller. So this allows you to quickly cap and uncap your frames. This is the way I do it. I'm currently working on getting a macro made for keyboard players to do this without actually owning a controller. So I will update you guys if that ever gets made. I'll put in the description and make a comment about it. But until then, your options are 30 FPS or plug in a controller, run the controller. The other small option is some people actually, I know a couple people that do this. You can just play on keyboard and mouse, and then when you need to do the breach, you put the crystal down, you get on top of the crystal, you would alt tab, and then you would pick up a controller. So you don't use the controller the whole time, you just pick it up and use it specifically for the breach, and then you put it down and then tab back in and use your keyboard. It's a little convoluted, but that's just the way it goes. It requires 30 FPS to do it, so however you can get that done, feel free to do it. Just real quick, if you're attempting to do the controller method or anything to do with running the controller and alt tabbing, you're going to want to make sure that in properties and controller, you want to either use default settings or disable CM input. You do not want to have enable CM input on. This messes with things and sometimes doesn't let you use your controller to control the game when it's alt tabbed. Alright, so real quick, this is the first breach you're going to use, or not the first breach, but one of the two breaches you're going to use. This is the breach to get you out of the basement and up top so you can actually crack scan. You're going to stand around here. It doesn't matter too much where or how. Just, I like to press myself against the wall. Somewhere around here works. Line the right side of your cursor up with the where the dark meets the little panels. And then you're going to start holding to see where, like, so you can get some light down there. If you look at the very corner where the floor meets the wall, you're going to see the little shadow where the curve is. You just want to line the two bottom prongs of your cursor up with the middle of the shadow pretty much. You can also go, it needs to be around here. You can line it up like whatever works best in your mind. Just make it look like this. If you're in a hurry, just know that it doesn't, side to side isn't super important. Up and down is really important. You need to make sure you get the up and down part right. It needs to be the right height. So we're gonna shoot the crystal. We're gonna jump. You're gonna stand on this little end. You're gonna crouch, and then if you're at 30 FPS, you can just continue. But if not, you can just do that. You're gonna hold it forward, and you're gonna super at the augment terminal. A couple quick tips for consistency with the basement breach. This is the one you're gonna struggle on of the two breaches. Just make sure you take your time to line this breach up. Like, the way you can do this, you have plenty of time to just kill ads and then line up the breach. Take more time than you would think. This is pretty important to get right, otherwise your run's dead. So the other thing is, like I mentioned before, you need to hold forward while you're doing the breach. Once you get on that crystal, like, it's very important that, like, when you're about to do the breach, you need to be holding forward. Your character needs to be moving. It can work without you moving or without you holding forward, but it's just, like, far less consistent. Make sure you're holding forward, make sure you're not aiming too high, and you'll be just fine. Alright, so I'm going to go over the OOB Breach real quick. This one is to get out of this area and go out of bounds so you can join allies and get the scan calls. That'll get rid of your scanner. This one's already pretty essential. So you're going to go stand on here. Anywhere in this cart works. I like to stand near the skull and go forward and back to get some adjustments on the thing. You want to line this middle. You want to line the very middle of the three lines. Like, you see there's three lines on my crosshair. I line the middle one up with, like, right around the middle of this, like, this curvature. Like, there's a little curvature right there. I'm going to put it right on the middle. So I'm going to jump up here. I'm going to put the curve on the middle. You want to err on the side of, like, going lower with this one. Because if you're too high, like here, I'd say, if you're like here, you're not going to be able to get on the crystal. I'd say if you get down to, like, here, you're not going to be, I'd say you're, like, here, you're not going to be able to oob, like, it's going to be too low. But you want to go lower because this oob's somewhat forgiving, like, this is the more forgiving of the two. So right around here is fine. I'm just going to charge it up, fire. This is where I like to swap to my Stompy's loadout. Get up there quicker. You're going to crouch, or you're going to stand on there first, so you're going to crouch. You're going to go 30 FPS. You're going to stand on the middle of the crystal. You cannot be too far forward here. And you're just going to go look straight up, and you're going to super. The reason you can't stand too far forward is this is the pillar you just ooped from, right here. There is this plate, this ring around it. You can't oop through this, so you need to be behind it, which is why I stood like right around the middle of the crystal, and then went up and through. Real quick, one question I've been asked is how do you do this if you're on like PS5 or console? As far as I know, the new gen Xboxes don't have any way to clear this, at least with this strategy. However, if you're on PS5, what you can do is you can download the PS4 version of Destiny, and that will be capped at 30 frames. If you're on a legacy console, you're good to go. You just have to play on 30 frames, obviously, because that's all you have. I've included some console lineups for low FOV for those legacy consoles. But yeah, new gen console, you just need to. New gen Xbox can't do it, but PS5 can download the PS4 version. The main issue is you can't cap your frames on new gen console, so. Alright, so briefly, I'm just going to go over where you should know where to go in the OOB. So this is where you landed after the OOB. Very self-explanatory. The main area you're going to need to be at is down here. What you'll see in runs is people will jump off the edge and then super back, like down here. To get back quicker, I recommend you do that. It's just a pretty easy step. But if you're just walking around, you can come around here. Come around, jump down again. This is where you would super back onto if you were to jump off the map and super back. This is like the main area of the OOB. This is the bread and butter. So we're gonna walk forward here. This is what I'll refer to as like the ramp. Like go up the ramp. This is the ramp. So coming over here, this is how we get the light side callouts with scanner. So you just move around until you can see them. Like I can see 1 right now, I can see 3, I can see 4, I can see 5. Move around, I'll see glimpses of 2 down there. Yeah. Now after you get the calls, you're gonna come up through here. There's gonna be a servitor you're gonna need to kill. That's why this loadout has a fusion and a lost signal in it. You're just gonna slide up this ramp. This is a ramp right here. As you can see, I can't like walk or normally crouch through. You can kind of sometimes get through here. Maybe if you're alt tabbed. Yeah, if you get 30 FPS, you can just crouch walk up through here. It works pretty well. If you don't want to go 30 FPS here, you can just slide through there. It's a little weird timing, but you get up through here. You're gonna walk around here. You're gonna ideally be up here waiting for the servitor to spawn after you get the calls. So I would look, okay, no servitor there, no servitor there. Servitor's gonna come. If you don't see the servitor anywhere, it's probably taking its time to come around through here. Just lost signal it and then fusion it down. When you're in this OOB, it's best to strafe when you're shooting. It'll make your shooting through the floor much more consistent. Not very hard, just find the servitor, shoot a lost signal at it, shoot some fusion at it, kill it. Once you kill it, I like to come through here, drop down. This is where I'm standing again. I'm gonna jump down here. Now, this is where I need to get dark side calls. So I see dark 5 right there, dark 4 right there. Pretty simple. I'm gonna jump up through here. I see dark 3. Move back and forth. You can see it. They flicker in and out of vision, so just be aware. Now, once you jump up here, this is where the joining allies is. After you get the calls, kill the servitor, get these 3 calls, you're going to jump to the joining allies. If you still need more callouts, like if you don't have the 2 callouts, you're going to jump over here. You're going to look through this crack, and right there you can see dark 2. So you can't see dark 1 very quickly. Like you could, but you're not going to go over there and see it. But just do process elimination. So if you see If you see out of the 4 that you scanned, if you see 1 lit up, you know that it's 1 because it has to be. After you get the calls, just make sure you join allies. I'd recommend writing them the calls in chat. If you can't, like if you're on console, whatever, you're just gonna have to memorize them. While you're joining allies, just swap back to your main loadout and you should be good. Real quick note, if you're practicing the OOB and you haven't started the encounter and you get stuck out here, which you will, instead of reloading, what you can do is you can come down to the augment terminal and you can grab the augment to start the encounter, and that'll allow you to reset pretty easily. This is what it looks like. You just go under it, you jump up, start grabbing, and then you just die to the fire and you reset. Alright, I've showed you all the tools you need to get the solo done. I'm going to walk through it real quick. Live walkthrough, just to give you an idea of what order you need to do everything. So, I'm just going to rally, I'm going to start the encounter, and I'm going to dunk operator again. Nothing fancy here. Going to grab scanner. I like to go invis here. That just lets me line up the OOB in peace without getting shot by a million ads. So I'm gonna stand up here, line it up. Gonna get in the middle. Gonna super upwards. Now here, this is what I meant when I said jump off the map and super back. This is just a quicker way to get down. Just jump off, super back over here. Pretty simple, just a fast way of doing things. Now you're immediately going to get light side callouts. So light side callouts I can see are 1 and 2. So I'm going to write down 1, 2. I'm going to go up here, I'm going to kill the servitor. I'm going to look for him. Oh, he's right there. I like the lost signal first, just to get him weak. Fusion him down. Pretty straightforward. Make sure I'm strafing when I'm shooting. Next thing I need to do is get dark side callouts. Look, it's dark 4, it's not 3, it's not 5. Now I need to go get the other 2 call out. So it's 2 and 4. 2, 4. So 1, 2, 4, 2. Now you just swap back to your main loadout here. At this point you just need to get your super. Servitor needs to die at some point, which you will need to grab operator again. Always try to use 2 dodges if you can. It'll just double up on Dynamo. That's the whole reason you have Coyote. Also, it just gives you a little bit more forgiveness. Once you get to around 3/4, you're going to go grab Augment and get ready to leave. I like to kill the Overload here, just because it's kind of a nuisance. During the second and third phases, or like leading up to the second and third phases, it's really nice to maybe get a couple special finishers at some point. That's just restock your thing. I like to check up on my calls here. 1, 2, 4, 2. So I'm gonna go hit 1, 2 over here. You kind of want to be fast down here. It's not super important, but you do want to speed everything up just because you're on a ticking clock. Make sure the last panel you have to hit is closest to the breach. I like to kill my ads here. That way I can line up the salvations in peace. So you can line this up real quick. Alright, now I'm going to quickly go hit 4, start the encounter, try the damage. If you fail this jump, no big deal. Just try again. Don't panic. Hold forward. Swap loadouts. Super the scanner. You should have enough time. Jump as high as you can. Eager back. Melee and add. That's super important. You need to melee and add to give you Saint's Fury. As you can see, Saint's Fury in the bottom left. As you can see, I just scanned the dark side over there. Now I'm going to do crack scan. Not left, not middle, but it is right. I can see it. Since I have Saint's Fury, it's going to let me 2-tap the core. Not left, not middle. I'm going to go back over and scan light side, or dark side, sorry. Now I'm a little slow here, since I was talking, but there you would be, it's pretty acceptable. Like, if you only get 1 core, it's fine, you can make up for that later. Make sure you kill those exploders. Those exploders are extremely dangerous. Stay at a very far range to kill them. At this point, you're just going to get your super back and pretty much just rinse and repeat. Like, it's a very it's become a very simple encounter. Just get your super and keep moving pretty much. Oh, I don't like this captain here. Sometimes his ads like to walk in your path. It's really annoying. Just go back out of the map. Jump off the edge and come back. Get the calls. Looks like it's 4 and 3. Wait for the server to spawn. There it is. 4 and 3 was the call. Now this is not 4 or 5. It's not 3. I'm not going to even go over the other side because I know it's 1 and 2. There's the only 2 left. So 3, 4, 1, 2. Those are my calls. I'm going to join. I'm going to swap back to my original loadout. Make sure you kill the exploders here. They're very annoying. They do a lot of damage for no reason. You will need a heavy brick at some point in this encounter, otherwise you won't have enough ammo to 3-phase. However, if you just 2-phase, you won't have that issue. But it's good to know. 3, 4, 1, 2. So since the calls are 1, 2, they're both kind of far away. I like to hit 1 and then have 2 be my last one panel. So I'm gonna kill these 4 right here. Oh, I just got my heavy. It means I'm set. So I'm gonna line it up. I'm gonna go hit 2. Hold forward here, super important. Ignore the exploders. As long as you're invis, they can't do shit. No left on mid. That means it has to be dark right. Looks like I'm out of time. No big deal. Having 3 in the final phase is actually very easy because you have limited cores that you need to scan. So don't worry too much if you miss, if you only get 1 in the phase, not a big deal. Just keep going. Crack scan's pretty forgiving, so. As you can see, I got 3 salvations left, which is really all I need, so. I'm gonna grab another invis real quick. As you can see, I'm not too worried about going fast. It's like you do have limited time, just it's not too huge of a deal. Best advice I can give you is just don't panic. Like sometimes these crystals piss you off, no big deal. Just stay calm, hit the breach. As long as you don't waste your super, you can usually make up for it. We're gonna give the calls. Looks like it's 4 and 1. Yep. Go back under here. Getting ready to kill the servitor. It's 4 and 1 is the call. Looks like it's gonna go over top, I think. I don't see it over here, so it must be coming over here, dirt here. some just... Oh, it decided to go all the way around. These servers hate you, by the way. We're going to drop through here. So call is 5, 4, 1, and then 5. We're going to go over here. 5 and 2. 4, 1, 5, 2. Okay, we're going back to this loadout. Make sure you kill these exploders. There's always 2 exploders. Just keep that in mind, it's good to know. Check my calls when I'm in here. 4152. I'm not sure if I remember these correctly, but I think I did. I did. Now 5-2 is the other call. Now 5 would be the closer one here because you can shoot it from farther away. So go 2. Kill your ads. So I like to have a wayframe on. Get this down. Go hit 5. Now glowing red just means I have limited time because I was kind of slow. Super, don't panic here. Like I mentioned before. Just do your thing. Oh. Once they start glowing, that means you're out of time. I'm not gonna go any further on this one just because I just did one take here. So just wanted to give you guys a good example phase. Just keep going, try not to make too many mistakes, and you'll usually clear. It's not too big of a deal. Alright, so like I mentioned before, some quick tips. Take your time. That's the big one there. Take your time. Make sure you practice your lineups. Make sure you practice crack scanning a little. You should be fine. The only part that you do want to move fast, like really fast, as fast as you can, is the crack scan itself. Another quick tip, if you choose to use it, you can get out of the dunk animation by grappling at the end. So for example, if I were to start the encounter, and then if I want to dunk this augment and I grapple at the end, I'll be able to move immediately instead of having to wait out the animation. So it looks like this. So all I did there was grapple as soon as the circle finished. This is what it looks like when you don't do that. Dunk it, I have to wait through this animation. It doesn't seem huge, but it's like half a second, so if you decide to use that, be my guess. It just gets you moving a little bit faster when you kill the scanner. Real quick, one question I've been asked is how do you do this if you're on like PS5 or console? As far as I know, the new gen Xboxes don't have any way to clear this, at least with this strategy. However, if you're on PS5, what you can do is you can download the PS4 version of Destiny, and that will be capped at 30 frames. If you're on a legacy console, you're good to go. You just have to play on 30 frames, obviously, because that's all you have. I've included some console lineups for low FOV for those legacy consoles. But yeah, new gen console, you just need to... New gen Xbox can't do it, but PS5 can download the PS4 version. The main issue is you can't cap your frames on new gen console. So now another thing I want to reiterate: please do not shoot a shank while it is anywhere near you. They did something in Final Shape. Shanks do like triple detonation damage if you kill them. So if you're gonna kill them, you want to do it at a range. For FAQ, if I get once I start getting more questions, I'll put frequently asked questions in the comments. If you have any specific questions, I'm in the D2 solo server and the lowman server, or you can just DM me directly. This is my Discord, Illumity_. If this was helpful, I know this is a role in the lowman server, so if you did this for that, or just in general you wanted to get it done and this helped you, please consider liking and subscribing. This didn't take me very long, but I did spend quite a lot in security to get the experience that I have, so I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, have a good day.